What's up, everybody? This is Raphael Garcia here today. It is January 4th, 2015, and we're back for the very first edition of the MMA Ratings Hangout for 2015. And to start off this year, we're coming off of UFC 182 that saw John Jones and Daniel Cormier fight for the UFC light heavyweight title, and a lot of other things go on in that show as well. But first, let me get a couple of things out of the way. Um, Roy is not with us today. I'm not sure if he's running late or something like that, but he'll gladly hop in the show later on if he happens to wake up. But yeah, you can follow me at rgarcia sports, rgarcia underscore sports, excuse me, on Twitter. You can catch what we're talking about there, and you can follow Roy at Roy Billington on Twitter as well. And you can catch up with MMA Ratings at a site at MMAratings.net. You can catch up everything that we're talking about, all of our site ratings. You can look at them there. You can check out some of the pieces that have been posted on the site as well too. So definitely be sure to follow us everywhere you can and catch up with us via Twitter. So wanted to get that out the way first. But let's go ahead and jump right on into talking about UFC 182. What was interesting was, I wrote a piece about this being probably the biggest fight that the UFC will have, um, at least for this part of the year. We still don't know what's going to come on, what's going to go down for the rest of the year. This is definitely the biggest fight that they've had, the biggest show that they've had in the last 12 months, and it was important for the card to deliver from top to bottom. Now, going off of that, did it deliver from top to bottom? Um, in some ways, yes, there were definitely some shining moments, but overall, the sentiment is that this wasn't a very good card, but still had a lot worth talking about. Had a lot of good contenders on it, some new faces as well. So we're going to talk about just about every fight to discuss some things we saw and what we think is next for the winners and losers, as well as what some of our highest rated fights were. So, not gonna wait for Roy. He's gonna hop in whenever he can. So let's start right from the very top and go to the main event with John Jones facing Daniel Cormier for the 205-pound title. John Jones walked away with a unanimous decision victory. I believe the scores were 49-46 across the board. Um, I was pretty surprised that this fight went the way it did. I picked Jones to win. I felt like he just had too many different ways to pull off the victory over DC, but he controlled much of this fight. I think the second round was probably the closest. The third was pretty close too, but he took over this fight in the championship rounds. What caught me off guard is that he looked a little bit tired as the fight went on, but he still did what he needed to do to pull out the victory last night. And I wasn't disturbed with the scorecards at all. It's funny. As I kind of shut down for the evening, I like to watch Twitter after big fights like these, and it was interesting the number of people who were upset with the fact that not only did John Jones win, but the fact that he got such a lopsided card in his favor as well too. There was some. I even saw some individuals going into the third round that had the fight going up, going two rounds to Cormier to none. I even saw one individual who works for a major MMA outlet. I'm not going to say who, but he had the fight going 3 rounds to none for Cormier going into the fourth. So it was definitely interesting seeing how many people were dead set on making sure that John Jones did not win last night. And even when they talked about it after what was clearly a 4 round to one showcase by Bones, they still try to make the claim that Jones stole another fight, of course, referencing back to the fight with Ivan Gustafsson back in 2013. So it was interesting to see how some individuals kind of, they're so upset with John Jones that they're willing to make an argument about him losing in any way, shape, or form. That was just an example right there. But looking at some of the totals that came across from Fight Metric, it's hard to see where they really got the idea that Jones didn't win this fight. He definitely outstruck Cormier. He landed 126 of 215 total strikes compared to Cormier's 78 of 191. Probably the most amazing part of this was that he took Daniel Cormier down 3 times. That's the whole birthplace, I guess, of this rivalry when John Jones claimed that he could take Cormier down, and that really pissed off the former Olympia a couple years back, before they were even in the same promotion. This is when DC was still a part of Strike Force and still fighting as a heavyweight. That supposedly pissed him off to no end that John Jones said that, and he kind of proved it right. He took him down early, and he took him down late as well too. So he did what he needed to do to prove his point in that case as well. But that doesn't mean that Cormier didn't have his bright spots. He definitely landed some very powerful shots. I thought he had, I'm not sure if he had Jones rocked in some positions, but he definitely looked like he was hurting the champion, landing a lot of uppercuts in the clinch, landing a lot of body shots. So he did what he could. One interesting note that he mentioned during some of the post-fight interviews is that he took off the fourth round, which was important, because that's a big round for challengers where they can kind of swing the fight. If you remember back to the Alexander Gustafsson fight, that was a close round there as well. But it looked like the challenger started slowing down in that round too, which gave Jones the opportunity to take that round in the fifth. So the same thing kind of happened here, where Cormier only landed 3 of 16 significant strikes in that round there as a whole, and that kind of maybe slowed him down, big time. Um, but yeah, the numbers kind of line up directly with what the judges thought. At the end, I'm not too surprised with how so many people are upset with this win here. It's definitely difficult for people to be able to get behind anything John Jenkins, Cormier shot crotch. Made he was away acting throughout the post fight situation. He wasn't the same way during the press conference afterwards, but he was definitely, I don't want to use the word childish, but he was definitely rubbing in the challenger's face at the end of the the fight. They didn't really get a chance to talk because they were being rushed off the air, but definitely some passionate words that he had for the challenger there. And it was interesting because a lot of people are really upset that people who get into these quote unquote heated contests in MMA kind of patch it up and forget everything. Like if you think back to GSP, Josh Koscheck, where they basically admitted that they were trying to promote the fight. Well, this wasn't the situation here. Wasn't the situation here at all because these guys did not like each other, and Jones made it a point that everyone knew that coming to the end of the show. So yeah, so that was definitely something worth watching. But I did not have any real problems with what Jones did. I'm not upset at any way. He definitely, he won the fight. He had the opportunity to uh, kind of prove that he is the best light heavyweight in the sport right now. There's some conversation of whether or not he is the greatest MMA athlete of all time. I think that's a tough conversation to have right now. I wouldn't be upset at all with anyone who says yes. The most interesting thing is that about uh, GSP very quickly. You forget about Fedor, and you forget about a lot of guys just because time allows them to forget. But John Jones definitely deserves to be in the conversation. He deserves to be a talking point when it comes to some of the greatest of all time. And he's only 27 years old. I guess the crazy part about it. Most people think that an athlete is in the prime of his career at 30, 30, 31. This guy still has 3 years to go to get to that point. So definitely a talking point worth having. I also want to look at a couple of the things for this fight as well too. So what is next for the champion and challenger? Let's start with the challenger first. I didn't really think too much about DC. This was his first time losing. He's 15-1 now, and it's going to be hard for him to get to a position to earn another shot at the stripe. But you know, he could if Alexander Gustafsson or if even Anthony Johnson were to get a win over John Jones, but that's neither here nor there. Right now, the question is where does he go from here? And I think he kind of, he definitely is he definitely is a top three light heavyweight. There's still it's interesting to see how he will face off against Gustafsson or Johnson, who are facing each other in a couple weeks. So he could take on the loser of that fight for sure. There's always that Rashad Evans fight that was out there too that he was supposed to have that was scrapped because Evans was injured. So there's that fight there too. There aren't a lot of other light heavyweight bouts. Maybe a fight against the returning Quentin Jackson. You never know. That could be pretty interesting as well too. I think he would demolish Quentin though. So um, not too sure if that fight should be made at all. But he definitely has some value as a light heavyweight. He's a tough competitor there. He's going to beat a lot of the best guys in the division. He's going to remain a top 3 to 5 guy ranked in the group. I'll be interested to see who the UFC places him against first after this loss, and I think he's gonna respond well to it. He's probably going to come out and destroy whoever he faces next. So it's not like he did a whole lot wrong here. He was just facing off just a superior athlete who knew how to negate and negate his greatest weapon and even beat him with it when it came down to it. So that brings us over to John Jones, and I think obviously the fight to make is against Alexander Gustafsson if he defeats Anthony Johnson later on this year. I think they fight February, not exactly sure the exact date, but even if Johnson was to win that fight, that's another good fight there because Johnson's a big, powerful guy, hits very hard, has decent wrestling, effective wrestling. I don't think he'd be able to stop Jones from taking him down though. I would be more worried about Johnson's gas tank, but he's a big, strong, powerful guy who would be hard to stop. So that's definitely a fight worth watching there as well too. That's definitely another good fight that'll be in the UFC's back pocket for sure. So the champion challenger could be taken in any one of those two directions. Probably won't hear anything for a few weeks about what's next for them. UFC President Dana White hasn't made an official announcement yet, but they always do their bait and switch when it comes to champion and challenger. So we'll just keep an eye out on MMA ratings about who will be next at getting a shot at the UFC light heavyweight champion. So let's talk about the co-main event next, which was Miles Jury against Donald Cerrone. This fight was definitely not what I thought it was going to be. I thought that Cerrone definitely walked away with unanimous decision victory. He won every round of this fight, no questions asked. He definitely dominated Miles during the first round, where Jury hit a takedown very early. It looked like he hit it kind of easily too, but Cerrone immediately used his jiu-jitsu to take control of that round. It's interesting because I had wrote a piece about Jury, and I thought or excuse me, a piece about this fight, and I wrote that that's something that Miles needs to be aware of if and when this fight hits the ground. And he immediately found out the hard way as Cerrone took his back and was there for probably what seemed to be like 4 out of the first 5 minutes of round one. Definitely, and he finished it trying to look for an armbar. But Miles didn't really have anything at all concerning from that point forward. He ate a big head kick at the end of the third. He looked very shaken up from that. It just looked like he couldn't get going in any way, shape, or form. It's funny because during the end of the fight, landing what he called fucking kicks to Jury, who was down on the mat. He just kept pelting Jury over and over and over again until the final buzzer. So kind of put a statement on the fact that Jury didn't bring the fight to him like he thought he was, or like everybody thought that the competitor was. Well, this is Jury's first loss, but it's a painful loss because it wasn't a close fight. He just got dominated by someone who's been hanging around the top five of the weight class for the last couple of years. So it's definitely telling of where Jury is at this point in his career. Because I was high on him. I thought he would definitely have the opportunity to take this fight here. I got into a couple of discussions about that, but he didn't get the job done in any way, shape, or form. But for Cerrone, this is his 15th UFC fight in 3 years. So he's been putting in a lot of work. He's won 6 straight, and he feels like he should be the number one contender uh, for the winner of Anthony Pettis versus Raphael dos Anjos. And the thing is, he recently was defeated by Raphael dos Anjos and Anthony Pettis. He was beaten by both of them, so it would be tough to make that fight either way. Obviously, Pettis versus Cerrone would be more interesting, but Pettis walked through him in the first round of their last fight. Then you also have Khabib Nurmagomedov, who's still dealing with knee issues. He may be back ready to fight in May or so, which would work out timeline wise, because they just announced Anthony Pettis is facing RDA on March 15th, I believe. So I think it's UFC 185. So that's definitely, that fight is already out there as well too. So how Cerrone is going to fit into this makeup will be pretty interesting to see. I'm not sure what the UFC is going to do with him. He was actually at the press conference talking about he wanted to fight on February 14th, which is like 6 weeks out. And Dana White was in there shaking his head, but he didn't say yay or nay to the idea of Cowboys fighting in just 6 weeks. I don't know. I think this is a bad idea for Cerrone because guys get tired. I think that exhaustion was one of the big factors. I think exhaustion was one of the big factors that kind of cost him when he fought Nate Diaz. He looked very sluggish when he fought Stockton Native a couple of years ago. He looked like he couldn't get off anything. Same thing with when he fought RDA. He just didn't look like he was physically ready for the fight. And I think part of that can deal with the fact that he may be tired. So I think it's a bad idea for him to be so quick to try to turn around a fight. Again, he knows himself best. If he wants to fight so many times in 1 year, go ahead. But especially if he keeps winning and keeps putting guys away. He finished in everybody last year, except for Eddie Alvarez, and then comes out and has his performance against Miles Jury. So it's definitely I don't have any problem watching him fight. I'm definitely a fan. I just hope that he's not running himself into an early MMA grave by being so competitive. I would like to see him fight for a title in 2015. I think he's very exciting. He has the opportunity to make a fight against anyone just about exciting, especially if he can hang 5 rounds with him and Anthony Pettis is definitely something that I would love to watch. They both fight all over the place. It would be a great striking affair for sure. And if it hits the ground, both guys are very active off of their backs. They have active jiu-jitsu, but the whole thing is he's already lost to Anthony Pettis once, and he lost pretty handedly. He's put away pretty quickly, so it's hard to really make that fight. But it could be promoted in a way that it could work. UFC's done it before. They've made rematches before look more interesting first round because Uriah Faber hitting Brown. Two, they didn't even mention the first time that those two guys fought, and Henry basically dominated Uriah at every aspect of the fight. So you never know, somebody could get hurt. Someone can step in. There's always an opportunity there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. See if he gets that title shot he's been chasing after so hard since moving over to the UFC. Remember, 15 fights in 3 years. That's crazy. This guy's not doing that anymore. So he definitely deserves some credit for that too. He was on my short list of guys of fighters for the year for 2014, and just with performances like this, he's deserving of that consideration. And then we're gonna look at the middleweight fight before Brad Tavares and Nate Marquardt. Man, people were pissed with how this fight went down. I didn't think it was going to be an exciting affair. I thought it was going to be technical just because both of these guys are very good at what they do. But it wasn't anything really exciting. Probably the biggest thing was the two front kicks to the face that was landed during the first round. Brad Tavares had one that answer from Nate Marquardt had landed earlier in the round. Other than that, it wasn't really anything worth seeing. Like the biggest thing to take away from this fight is Mark Done. He hasn't looked quite the same since he stopped using TRT. He moved back up to 185. He looked ripped again. He looked like a musclehead version of Nate that fought Anderson Silva years ago, but he just doesn't look like he has the tools to get it done anymore. Like he just looks very slow. He looks apprehensive. Like he doesn't want to get off any good shots. He just not the same guy who looked like a video game character back in the day when he was putting away guys and he put away Damian Maya a couple years back. He just doesn't look like that guy anymore. Maybe competition stepped up and kind of caught up with him when that has definitely been a problem. But a lot of guys are pointing towards the fact that he is off of TRT, which he publicly stated a while back. And I think since before the Terry Tappan fight, since he just has not looked like the same guy. He hasn't looked as tough. He hasn't looked as stout competitor from that point on. And you gotta wonder if if he's going to be around much longer. I think this is his fourth loss in 5 fights. Yeah, this is his fourth loss in 5 fights. He's 35 years old, so maybe it's time for him to be kind of start getting weeded out eventually to see if the UFC still keeps him around. Um, if they cut him or not. So definitely a tough time for Nate the Great. On the other hand, you got Brad Tavares, who at one time was pushing his way, got knocked out by convulsion. He was winning. So yeah, like he's only 20 as well too. So he has some value when it comes to the middleweight division. Since he had lost. He was winning 5 in a row before that loss to Yoel Romero earlier this year, or last year, and then lost to Tank Bosch as well. So it's an opportunity for him to kind of turn around, see what happens next for him. There's a lot of good fights at 185, and definitely. Okay, ooh, let's see, comes to mind. He's and like he's in the top fight to make him up after that, getting that win back last, being in position to kind of move up and not be stuck with where he was a while back. So we got Machida. That can be a good fight there. The winner of Gegard Mousasi, Dan Henderson. Maybe even continue to see what he does when he comes back to his Dallas status. If he gets another win, so there's definitely some good fights there for to be made for Brad Tavares. It wasn't a lot to talk about from his showing last night. He definitely earned another win, and at 27 years old, he has a lot of upside when it comes to the division. So let's keep moving from there. And Kyoji Horiguchi defeated Louis Gallner. I thought that this was kind of like most interesting fight to watch, other than the main event, just because I'm kind of high on Horiguchi and know what he's done so early in the UFC. I think he has a lot of value when it comes to the division. But he dominated Louis Gallner for 15 minutes. He was very, very quick. That's kind of like the first thing that caught my attention. It was he was able to outpace Gallner anywhere in that one. Lewis didn't have any questions, didn't have any answers for him from start to finish. So that was something worth watching there. And this was the fourth UFC win. Yeah, he goes to his fourth straight UFC victory. He's 14-1. In the flyweight division, that's enough to get a title shot, especially with John Dodson still on the shelf. The UFC isn't sure what's going to happen with him because he's still dealing with his knee injury. So if he can't go anytime soon, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave a title shot to Kyoji here, who is a former champion of some Japanese promotions. I would be interested in seeing that fight because even though he hasn't fought a lot of big names other than Daryl Montague, I think he has some interesting questions that the champion will have to answer, especially that speed that I saw last night. I was very impressed with how fast he was moving in and out, landing a lot of shots, and then getting away before Galno could respond. It's kind of a similar tactic that Demetrius uses. Again, I feel like it's unfortunate that this is the flyweight. Not unfortunate that this is the flyweight division, but it's sad that these guys don't get the attention that they deserve. It's definitely a compelling fight that I would like to see. It probably would be like throwing on Fox, like a co-main event or something like that. But it's something that I think fans would definitely like to see. Fans of mixed martial arts, fans of technique in the sport would definitely like to see. I would favor Johnson in that fight, but Horiguchi would definitely have some tough questions for the champion to answer. Something I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, we get to see that next. There's a couple other guys in front of. The only guy I can really think of, you got John Lineker there, who is in front of Horiguchi. You have John Dodson as well. So outside of that, it doesn't really seem like there are a lot of guys title shot at 125. Maybe they could throw him in against Zach Bukowski if he defeats Tim Elliott, or maybe Joseph Benavidez or something like that. Kind of give him. I wouldn't put him against Joseph Ashton because he defeats so many guys that kind of give him a. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the winner of fighting the end of this month at UFC 130, so that has potential there as well. So there's a lot of good fights for Kyoji, and I think he has the opportunity to be a title challenger at some point this year. And we got Hector Lombard, Josh Berkman, which I think they opened up the pay-per-view. And first things first, I wonder who Josh Berkman kind of pissed off to get put in this fight before, coming back to the UFC. He hasn't been back because I think he had been gone for almost 6 years. He wasn't. He was doing well in World Series of Fighting. He had lost his last fight to Steve Carl, but contract negotiations allowed him to get out of that conversation there. So he was welcome back to UFC and welcome in a way, in air quotes, when he signed the fight against Hector Lombard. He started off well. He was landing his counter shots pretty well. And he looked like he was doing what he needed to do to kind of outpoint Hector. But as the fight went on, Lombard just kind of took over, landed some big shots. He had Berkman hurt at some points, but he was never going to get put away. This is Lombard. I think let's see how many fights he's won in a row. With a tender that Lawler and Johnny Hendricks and Robert Lawler's already made for the third time. So instead of having them both sit on the sideline and wait, putting Bobby Lawler, putting Roy McDonald and Hector Lombard is the next logical fight. And that's a scary fight for uh, McDonald to win. I could see him winning, fight smart type of way, but you don't want to stand there and try to exchange shots with Lombard anyway, shape or form. The man looks like he will break you in half at any point. He's just massive. And he did what he needed to do to beat Josh Berkman. It wasn't an exciting fight. I thought that this fight was going to probably end by knockout, but Berkman just doesn't get stopped. He's just one of those tough guys that eats shot after shot. It's funny because people, Lombard always talks about he has a hard time getting booked in fights, and it looks like it, man. He almost didn't fought almost a year ago. His last fight was in March against Jake Shields, and since then, he's been trying to get fights. It looked like at one point in time, him and Tyron Woodley were going to battle it out, but that fight never came to be. So here he is, Lombard, 36 years old, former Bellator champion, one of those guys who people thought was going to flounder in the UFC. He's just doing his thing, and looks like he's about to get a title shot sometime this year, especially if he can defeat Rory McDonald. Quite a turnaround. I wouldn't call it a turnaround, but guy just continues doing what he's been doing. He's 34-4, and he deserves to be in this position in the sport right now. Probably the highlight of the night came from Paul Felder when he landed that ridiculous spinning back fist on Danny Castillo in the second round of their lightweight fight to get his 10th, I believe his 10th win, 10th professional win. He was I knew who he was. Castillo was one of those workhorse guys who's been around for so long and will continue being like one of those top guys on the outside. But also, they looked good from start to finish. He was landing a lot of good shots very quickly. He was popping the guy, moving in and out, like landing a lot of crisp, clean shots. And he looked very good from start to finish. He was just landing, consistently countering, consistently landing. And when that spinning back just came, he was so technical because he was in the right position at the right time. He landed it big, dropped him. Didn't really need to finish up any shots because Danny was definitely out cold. He was like lifted up off his feet as soon as he ate the shot. So this is a big win for the PA native. He's 29 years old. This is his second fight. I think he took this on short notice too. So to get this win was definitely big for his career. It'll be interesting to see what's next for him. To see kind of how UFC grooms and see what's next. See if he can keep this run going because he earned knockout of the night or one of his performance bonuses. So he took home an extra 50K. So he's somewhere I look forward to seeing. Somewhere I definitely would like to see next. Then we have Cody Garbrandt fighting Marcus Brennan. This was a funny fight here because Marcus was winning the bout. He looked good from start to finish. He was landing a lot of shots in the first 2 rounds. He looked aggressive. Looked like he was poised to take the decision win. And there was 10 seconds left in the fight. He took a counter. I think it was counter left or right hand. That hit him flush on the jaw, kind of dropped him. And then from that point on, Cody was very patient and finishing him off. And because Marcus goes down, he hops up, tries to stay active on his feet, goes down again, and Herb Dean had to step in and call a fight. But Cody pulled it out in the last couple of seconds. It was 10 seconds left in the fight. He dropped him with 15, and then he was able to stay composed and finish him off a couple of seconds later. So this was Cody's welcome into the UFC. But one of those team off who was second into this fifth professional fight, and that Ohio needed to do what he needed to do from start to finish. So it was interesting seeing that bout there. I was first off, I was surprised that Marcus Williams was doing so well to begin with, but it definitely caught that finish was one of those points where it's just like, man, like, talk about pulling the fight out at the very last minute. Garbrandt had finished all six of his fights via TKO and some knockout or TKO in some fashion. So he's definitely somebody worth watching going forward in the bantamweight division. What else do we see? Sean Jordan got a knockout victory in the first round. Nothing really to talk about there. Evan Dunham dominated uh, Rodrigo down. Omar Akhmedov took a decision win over Max Nielsen. And Marion Renault, Alexis Dufresne. This fight started off the night, and it's probably one of those situations where it was almost disturbing to watch how Marion battered Alexis for 15 minutes. It looked like Alexis did kind of fight. Uh, Joe Rogan was like adamant that she shouldn't be in there, that they should just stop the fight. She was just taking shot after shot to the face. It looked like she wasn't prepared to fight any way, shape, or form. Like she was never trained how to even defend herself from a punch. So it was definitely a tough bout to watch. But it's an interesting story because Mary Renault, she's 37. She had tried to be on the Ultimate Fighter this season with, I believe, Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate, and they told her that she was too old. So she was cut from the decision making back then, and to see her get into the UFC now and just have such a dominant, clear cut win. It's great for her career. And that's a pretty good story there too. It stands. Dana White had actually apologized for calling her too old, so definitely something I liked seeing there. So that's all from UFC 182. Definitely a good card. I don't think it lived up to the complete hype that people were hoping for. But we're getting to that point in MMA where fights are being booked around the co-main and main event. This one here wasn't even really booked about the co-main; it was just booked on the main event itself. So it was definitely a top-heavy card. I think that there's going to be some talking points away coming out of this fight. One in the post-fight press coverage, I saw that Dana White believed that this fight earned more than 750,000 pay-per-view lives, which is impossible to know because those pay-per-view numbers take weeks to kind of develop. So I'm not sure how 2 hours later you can say that it hit such a high number. But it'll be interesting to see what that number is and what that comes out to be. I think John Jones is a star. He deserves to be one of the highest grossers. But we'll see if this fight, if UFC 182, where him and Cormier did all they did after all the negative publicity about this not being good for the sport. Let's see if it really was good for the promotion as a whole. And looking at just some other MMA news bits, the UFC uh, turned over competition testing back to the commissions. So they recently took a stand where they were going to be doing competition testing on all of their fighters, but it came out that they were going to turn that task back over to the commissions, which is kind of interesting. But you got to wonder why they took a step back, understand maybe potential negative cost of doing all of this testing, but I don't want to say it raises a red flag. There's definitely a question mark because it makes you wonder, why did they decide to stop testing the athletes out of competition? Why did they decide that they didn't want that task in their hands? So there'll probably be some talking points about that over this coming week as to why they turned that back over. I'm gonna look into some more, just some more research on what was discussed about that situation there. I wanted to actually talk to Roy today about CM Punk. CM Punk did a Q&A session over the weekend, and it'd be interesting to get Roy's comments and see just what he has to say about the pro wrestler turned MMA athlete now. Because I'm sure Roy is very passionate about that situation as well too. So we'll be interested to see what he has to say about that. But since he's not here, we're not going to talk about that today. I'm sure there will be plenty of time to talk about him at a later date. So obviously, you can keep your eye on MMA ratings this week because we'll have a lot of content coming out from UFC 182 and leading into the next UFC event, which is the genocide of Conor McGregor UFC Fight Night in Boston. So we'll have a lot of lead-in going into that event as well too. So keep an eye out for that. But I will definitely be working on some pieces as well. I have made pieces as well too. Boris will be back into writing. So be sure to check out the website. Follow us on Twitter, MMARatings.net. And you can follow me again at rgarcia_sports. Follow Roy at Roy Billington. There's Michael Ford out there, Adam Martin, Nathan Carter. So we got a pretty good team. So be sure to catch us all. And again, this is Raphael Garcia signing off by myself this week for the MMA Ratings Podcast on January 4th. You'll see one of YouTube post-fight discussions. And again, check us all out. Have a great weekend, everybody.